Hello, my name is Jessica. Welcome to my channel. Today, I would love to make a video picking my April TBR. So last month in March, I used a randomizing wheel to pick my TBR from my list of library holds, and I thought that worked really well. I got through most of the books that I picked, and I think let's do it again. I am going to pick a few extra books this time because I would like to have the ability to DNF something if it's not working, or to skip something if I'm just not in the mood for it, because I am about 25% mood reader, so sometimes it's nice to have the ability to do that. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take you to my screen, so let's go ahead and look at that. You can see that I'm ready to add things to my wheel, and I have 26 items that are ready to be picked from. And I think I'm probably going to pick 10 books, and I do have a few that are going to be extras on top of that. So I think that'll be plenty, probably more than enough. So out of that 26, I'm going to pick 10 things. And after I pick a book, I'll stop and talk about it, but there's way too many for me to go through here at the beginning. I've got them categorized. You can see here, these, oh, still going. Those are my fantasy books that I am interested in reading. Maybe I'll get to do my very first Sarah J. Maas. Maybe I will finally get to read One Dark Window, which I've been trying to do for months. Maybe I will read one of these two books that have the word gin in the title. Who knows? And then down here we have just a few mysteries, because I am trying to get back into mysteries again. That's something I used to read a lot. We have some science fiction. I read a lot of science fiction in March, so I don't feel like I need quite as much this time. I have 2 romance novels, because it's always nice to have a break from the heavier stuff that I'm reading. And then we have these kind of miscellaneous things. I have never read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and I do think that I'm going to finally get The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo from the library. And then this last one's called The Book of Love, and I don't know anything about it, but I saw it recommended in a video, so I added it just now. So if it gets picked, then we're both going to find out what it's about. All right, so I'm going to add all of those to my wheel. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. I may have overstuffed the wheel this month, but we will see. Let me go ahead and make that full screen. Spin the wheel. What's it gonna be? Please be something I want to read. Generation Ship. All right. All right, so Generation Ship is the longest book on this list, so my record of reading long books is going to continue. If you give me a second, I will take a look at that. Okay, so Generation Ship by Michael Mamet, or Mamet, I'm not really sure how he says his name exactly. So I'll put the cover right here. It's long, it's 608 pages long. It was published in October of last year, in 2023. It only has 212 reviews and 969 ratings on Goodreads, so it's not something that I feel like has been super duper popular, but it is definitely something that I am interested in reading. So it's kind of your, I think it's a space opera. It's set on a generation ship. I always love generation ship stories, and I think it's very political. So those are definitely things that I am interested in reading, and I have had this on my TBR since it came out. So I think it's a good thing for me to finally be able to get to it. So I will add that to the list, and I'm looking forward. All right, let's pick another book. Let's see. Please don't be sci-fi. Please don't be sci-fi. What are we getting? Oh. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Nice. Nice. So do I really have to explain what The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is about? Okay, so this book is 389 pages and it was published in 2017. I definitely feel like I am one of the last people on BookTube to have read this book. I have been interested in reading a Taylor Jenkins Reid book because I've never read one, But to be honest, most of the synopses of them didn't sound that exciting to me. But this one is about an actress who is telling her life story and about all of the drama and the intrigue and everything like that that happened. And that sounds pretty good to me. Also, I love the cover. The cover is beautiful. I am excited to read this one this month, and it's definitely going to be something different for me because I don't read a lot of general fiction. All right, let's see what's going to be next. Is it going to be Hoping for Fantasy? Hoping for Fantasy. Oh. Harrow the Ninth. Oh, that one is exciting. Okay, so Harrow the Ninth was published in 2020, and it is 500-ish pages long, 510 pages long. So this is a sequel to Gideon the Ninth. Gideon the Ninth was one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year because I thought it was so funny and interesting and different. It's a sci-fantasy story set in a world where you have all these different planets where people practice different forms of necromancy. It's just a really unique and interesting world, and I have been excited to go back in and explore the rest of this world with the author. I know there is a third book out now too, and there's going to be a fourth one to finish the series, so I am very excited. All right, that's 3 books. Let's see what we're going to get now. Spinning. Oh, my internet does not like it. Okay, here we go. What do we have? What do we have? Powerless. All right. Okay, so Powerless was published in 2023 and it's 523 pages. Let's read the blurb. So, she is the very thing he spent his whole life hunting. He is the very thing she spent her whole life pretending to be. So this is a story that, is it a young adult? Is it young adult? I'm actually not sure. It might be young adult, it might not be. I know it is a romantasy, and I know that it contains trials. I'm interested to see this. It's actually one that I'm not 100% sure that I'm gonna like. Romantasy and I are kind of like, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. It just depends, but I have seen a lot about this book, and I have seen some people say that it's one that you would enjoy if maybe you don't like some of the typical ones. I'm excited to read this month and see what I think about it. Let's spin the wheel again. Huh. That one is interesting. The Floating Hotel. I don't know that much about that, so let's look it up. It's not The Floating Hotel, it's Floating Hotel. Goodreads will not let you add that extra word if you're looking for it. So this is published just a couple weeks ago on March 19th. And it says, this cozy debut science fiction novel tells a story of misfits, rebels, found family, and a mystery that spans the stars. Welcome to the Grand Abiona Hotel, home of the finest food, the sweetest service, and the very best views the galaxy has to offer. It's going to be a cozy science fiction, fantasy kind of thing, set aboard a floating ship. And I think that sounds really interesting. It's got a 3.9 rating currently, 364 ratings. I don't think that anyone I follow has read this book, so this would be something a little bit different, and I am excited to read it. I love a cozy, possibly humorous science fiction novel. All right, let's see what we're gonna get now. The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi. Okay, so this is a novel about a female pirate, and that's really kind of all that I know about it. I know I saw the Hugo nomination list just came out, and this novel was on there, which made me add it to my TBR. I have thought about reading it, but I'm not necessarily a pirate person, so I wasn't really sure. But when I saw that it was on the Hugo list, I was like, you know what? Let's read the pirate book. So there we go. Gonna read the pirate book. Let me hide that. Okay. All right, let's spin. The Book That Wouldn't Burn. This one I am actually super excited about. I am glad that I got it because I already checked it out from the library. So, The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence is a fantasy novel that concerns a magical library, and that's really just about all that I know about that. But I know I love libraries, and I've never read a book by Mark Lawrence, but I do know the sequel's coming out this month, so I am definitely excited to read that one. That's one of the ones that I was really hoping to get, so that one's pretty exciting. Let's see if I can figure out how many books we've had, because I don't know. Let's see. That one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've done 6. So we're going to spin 4 more times and see what we get. All right, what are we gonna get? Ooh. All right, These Burning Stars. These Burning Stars is one, it's another one that I feel like I haven't heard as much about as I would like to. Once again, the wheel is favoring the science fiction. The wheel loves sci-fi, I can tell you that. All right, These Burning Stars by Bethany Jacobs. And it says, a dangerous cat and mouse quest for revenge. An empire that spans star systems built on the bones of a genocide. A carefully hidden secret that could collapse worlds, hunted by 3 women with secrets of their own. All collide in this twisty, explosive space opera, perfect for readers of Arkady Martine. They're comparing it, I guess, to A Memory Called Empire, which makes me think that it's going to be a very political kind of science fiction book. I think it sounds really good. I don't honestly know that much about it, and that doesn't really tell me that much about it, but I do know it's one of the books that has gotten a lot of buzz in the past year, science fiction, and I am excited to get to that one, hopefully this month. Here we go. All right. Let's see. Ooh. The Djinn Waits 100 Years. Okay, so this one was just published in January. The blurb here on Goodreads says that it is Rebecca meets the House of Spirits in this sweeping, gorgeously atmospheric novel about a ruined mansion by the sea, the djinn that haunts it, and a curious girl who unearths the tragedy that happened there 100 years ago. So that sounds perfect for me. I love Rebecca. Rebecca is one of my favorite books of all time. I love A Crumbling Mansion by the Sea. That sounds gothic, sounds amazing. Average review is a 3.9. And it's 320 pages, so it's not too long. And I'm gonna be honest, this is one of those ones that I added to my TBR because I saw a review of it in a magazine somewhere, and then I was probably never ever gonna get to it. So I am actually pretty excited that that one got chosen because that's one I don't know that much about. So looking forward to that. 2 more times on the wheel. Let's see, what would I like to read? So I do have these 2 romances on here that have not been picked. I have The Space Between Worlds, but there's already a lot of science fiction in here, so I feel like maybe that should wait. I also haven't picked a mystery. I did get that gothic story, the one that the Djinn Waits 100 Years. So The Ballad of Never After, I would really like to read that because I love the first book, and I think that the second one is probably going to be just as good. And I also really want to read One Dark Window. I've been waiting forever to read One Dark Window. So 2 more spins. Let's see what we're going to get. All right. What do we have? Okay. All right, so we have The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. This will be my first book by Catherine Center. I've not read any of her books, but I have seen some really positive reviews. Okay, so this book was published in 2022 and it has a 3.99 average rating on Goodreads. It is 309 pages and it has just an incredible number of ratings, like 250,000 ratings, about a female bodyguard for a Hollywood heartthrob and how, you know, they're definitely going to fall in love. I think it sounds cute. I think it sounds like there's going to be a point this month when I'm going to say, I just need something that is not going to make me have to ponder the mysteries of the universe or learn a new made-up language or any of those things. So I think that'll be the point when I want to read this one. So that's a good choice. All right, so here is our last spin. Let's see what the last book I'm going to read in April is going to be. Okay, what's it gonna be? Come on, please be something I want to read. What's it gonna be? Oh, yes. Okay, well, that is exciting because that means that I got the last book that I was really excited to read this month, which is One Dark Window. All right, One Dark Window is 399 pages and it came out in 2022 and it has a lot of ratings. I have seen everyone reading this. People seem to either love or hate it, and I'm really excited to find out which one I am going to be. It says, Elspeth needs a monster. The monster might be her. I don't really want to find out a lot more than that about the book because I feel like there's going to be a lot of surprising things in it, but I'm really excited that I get to read that one. So that's going to be super great. I have 2 books that I need to read from NetGalley because they are coming out this month. I only request books from NetGalley when I think that they are something I wanted to read anyway. And those books are A Short Walk Through a Wide World and Ghost Station. So let's start with A Short Walk Through a Wide World. This book is supposed to be something like Addie LaRue meets Life of Pi, and it's about a woman who has to continue traveling around the world her whole life. She can't stop anywhere or she becomes very ill, and she also can't visit the same place more than once. So very kind of Addie LaRue similar story, just with different details for the constant moving around and the rootlessness. So I think that sounds really amazing. I requested that one and I was really excited to get it. And the other book that I'm going to be reading because I have an ARC is Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. This is a space horror book concerning an abandoned station on a planet. So I guess we're going to find out what happened to all the people down there. Who knows? I did read her previous book and I really, really enjoyed it. And so I am really excited to read this one. And I was really excited when I was approved for the ARC because I am on the list, or I was on the list at my library, but it was going to be like 2 months before I got it. So this way I get to read it right around the time it comes out. So that's pretty exciting. The other book that I am probably going to read this month is Northwoods. This book is by Daniel Mason and it has a 4.19 average rating on Goodreads. It's 372 pages and it's something very different from the things that I generally tend to pick to read. But I am going to do it as a kind of buddy read with my partner, Sean. So I let him pick out what he wanted to read next and I was like, let's read that book together. That sounds fun. So I'm probably going to read that at the same time that I read some other things, and then we're going to discuss it together. And I think that sounds like a fun kind of activity for us to do together. I have to say, one thing I really love is that we share the love of reading together. We do books that we read aloud to each other. We're going to start doing buddy reads and we talk about our reading all the time. We watch BookTube together. And that's just something that I have really enjoyed and not really had before in a relationship. So I think reading Northwoods together is going to be really fun. Northwoods is the story of a single house in the woods of New England and the many generations of people who lived there. It's supposed to be really good. I haven't heard anything bad about it. It's literary fiction, which is not my usual genre. I read some literary fiction, but it's not the thing I turn to first. But I am trying to keep myself from only reading fantasy books, so it's always good to be stretched a little bit. Okay, and there you have it. That is my April TBR. There are 13 books on that TBR. Am I going to read 13 books? Probably not. There aren't any super chunky books. I was thinking about reading the next Stormlight Archive book from Brandon Sanderson, but unfortunately, I was not able to get that from the library in time. I forgot to get on the list, and now it's going to be 2 months before I can read it. If it goes on sale, I'll probably just buy a copy. But it looks like it's going to be a really fun reading month, so I hope you will stick around. I have plans to do several reading vlogs on these books throughout the month, and then at the end of the month I will be back with a wrap-up of all the books I read and what I thought about them. If you are new here and you've enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing for more content. It really does help support the channel when you subscribe or you like or you leave a comment. If you have something you're really looking forward to reading this month, I would love to hear about it and talk about it with you down in the comments. And that's all I have today. I hope you all have a great reading week. Bye.